Hey y'all, Jim Pankey here. I've got a box for Music Link. Now, Music Link is folks that have the Recording King stuff, and so they've sent me a box, and I've never done an unboxing. So this will be kind of new, and then we'll look at this banjo. But I had a couple of folks also asking me about, setup and how to set something up, and so we'll do that, as well as show you how to put a strap on a banjo and how to adjust it, because I've got a strap. I showed y'all in the past, not too long ago, a strap that one of you guys sent me. So let's tear into this thing, and I'm gonna flip this around here and hopefully not cut a finger off in the process. Let's get the pocket knife out and see what's in this box. Y'all don't mind the dust bunnies and stuff. We'll get tore in here. Doing this one-handed. Obviously, I don't have any. That's good. Let's see what we got. See how this thing's packaged. Alrighty. Well, looks like it's in a case. Case is good. These things usually come in a bag like this. So I'll pull this out and I'll be right back. When you get these, they come wrapped in this cloth thing, but there's a case under here, and we're just gonna tear this off. I mean, you can undo the little thing, and we just throw that away. So here we go, and it comes in this comes in a Guardian case. Let's just pop this open, see what's in here. It's kind of neat, kind of like Christmas in January. All right, here it is, big reveal. Let me back the camera up. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, more stuff. So there we go. So I'm going to take a minute and pull this paper off of this, or whatever this is, and give y'all a kind of a peek at what we're looking at here. So there's a little sneak peek, and we'll get the rest of that off. I'll be right back. Here we go. This is it's a RKR20. Has hearts and flowers inlay, and as we go down here, you'll see the bridge. The bridge is laying down. That's just pretty normal when something's shipped, which means we'll have to figure out where that bridge goes. But there you go, and it's a pretty nice looking banjo. It's mahogany. Put that down here and try to get a little less glare. Hey, I see you. But that's what it looks like. And let's put this thing together. All right, here we go. Hey y'all. So let's look at what we're going to do with this. Get this bridge. We're going to stand this bridge up, but we kind of need to know. We need to know where it goes. So what I get you a tape measure, and you want to measure. And this is just all ballpark kind of figure, but you're going to measure from the nut to the 12th fret, and I am seeing 13 1/8 of an inch. So that's from the nut to the, well, let's see, 13. I said 13 1/8, but actually we are at just not quite 3/16. So, but somewhere between 13 1/8 and 13 3/16, and from the nut to the 12th. So that's where. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the 12th fret, and we're going to measure about the same spot, and we're going to stand that bridge up where the top of the bridge is like 13 1/8 or a little more. So you just stand this thing up, and let's see where we are. I just guessed there. So I'm at 13 1/2, so that's a little too far back. And then we'll measure again, 13 Yeah, that's a little more than 3/16, so it'll come up just a fuzz. And then we'll adjust this thing. That's close enough. So put your strings in your slots. Make sure it's straight as best you can. And then we're going to go grab a tuner and we will tune up. Be right back. Started the tuning process and got kind of close, but I haven't touched the bridge since I've not done anything there. So I'm going to show you how I go about figuring out if the bridge is in the right spot. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you tuned up. So just check your tuning. I don't know if I put a tuner there for y'all to watch, but I mean, I'm watching another one, so I'm a little sharp. That's close enough. All right, that's good. All right, so the reason it's important to put the bridge in the right spot is you want like each of these notes to note true. And if this bridge is if the bridge is out of place, then the notes won't play they won't play the proper note. The strings won't play the proper note. An easy thing to do is just look at your tuner, find a string so that D note is in tune. And then what I will do is I will fret that D note at the 12th fret and see if it's in tune. And when I do that, my tuner is showing that that's a little sharp. So y'all's is showing good. But see, it's a little sharp. So if it's a little sharp, then it means I need to move the bridge back a little bit. So I'll just slide that bridge back just a little bit, not a little bit, not a lot. Retune that string. It might be out of tune when you do that. And then fret it again at the 12. And now I'm showing it right on. So now I know that that note is in the right spot. You can hit a harmonic and then you can fret it. All right. So that's in tune. Obviously the harmonic's going to be in tune, but then, and now I'm in tune. So that bridge is pretty close to the right spot. The other places you can check is 17th fret. That's also a G note. So if my 17th fret is there, the 9th, there's a harmonic, and those are the same. So now I know my bridge is in the exact right spot. Had that note, when I fretted it, been flat, then I'd have brought the bridge forward. Had it have been sharp, I moved the bridge back. And that gets me all set there. One of the things I will show you on this, and I'll address this at some point, the way this is strung up, I don't use this tailpiece this way, so I'm probably going to change these strings out and put the strings on here the proper way. This is way too complicated the way they've got the strings on here. It works, but there's a better way. And so I'll show y'all that too. So we'll put some new strings on this too. All right, so let's see what it sounds like. So obviously all we've done at this point, here, I'm not gonna move the camera, I just moved me. Remember I told y'all, don't be piled up on the couch. So we'll jack this camera up just a fuzz. There we are. Now I haven't done anything, it's straight out of the box, I promise you. And we will, so you're gonna hear the first notes on this banjo. Check my tuning. If you tune your banjo with it laying in your lap, and then you sit your banjo up, it will change the tuning. The tuning will change because the neck will be, gravity works still. At least it works in Georgia. So let me tune up. Here we go. We're getting there. So all of the notes seem to be playing exactly in tune or close enough. And this is another thing I like about the Recording King banjos, is pretty much fresh out of the box. I can stand the bridge up, tune it up, and everything is about exactly where it ought to be. There's the headstock. So it doesn't require a whole lot of setup. It doesn't require a whole lot of just a whole lot of messing around. You just take them out and you can pick them. Couple of things that I usually look for is my string height. And the string height on this is actually pretty good. Totally playable just like it is. And that's the RKR20. Pretty neat, mahogany. Now, we got to figure out how to put a strap on a banjo. Now, I will show you something. And this is total opinion of mine. Some banjos, let me scoot up here a little bit. Some banjos have this little doohickey right here. See that see that right there? All right. Don't use that. Don't. Usually what I do with that is I take a pair of pliers and I pull that thing loose. It's flimsy, it rattles, and I wouldn't trust the weight of my banjo to hang on that little bracket. I just wouldn't. And I wish you wouldn't either. So just ignore that. You'll want to hook your strap on a bracket. Those brackets aren't going anywhere. So you can hook just right on a bracket, and that's a good safe place to put a strap. So let's go grab a strap and I'll show you how I put it on my banjo. All right, we'll see in a second. All righty, so to hook the strap to the bracket, sometimes you may actually have to loosen the bracket to get the strap attached. And the easiest way to do that, you take your resonator off, and this banjo has little thumb screws that take off the resonator. So let's just do that. So we're going to take that off, and then we're going to see what's inside this. See what's inside this guy. Don't lose your thumb screws. Well, you could lose one, but try not to lose any of them. You might need them later. Uh-oh. All right. So we have a little issue here. Sometimes, here, let me show you this. And this is nothing to have a cow about. This is kind of normal, and I've done this before. So this is the little lug that the thumb screw fits into, and it's come loose. And this can happen to you on a banjo, new banjo, old banjo. But there's a spot right here where that little lug fits, and you can that just pushes right back up in there. And you can put a dot of glue on that if you want to, but it's totally unnecessary. And all that does, it's just a friction fit, and it just pushes up in there. And that's all you need to do. So there we go. So we've got the resonator off. Now let's look at the inside of this banjo and see what it looks like. So boom, there's the inside. And this will give us an opportunity to make sure all our brackets are tight. And so I found one right there that's a little loose. In your kit, in the case, you'll have a little tool kit. It's a pretty handy thing. It'll have two things in here. It'll have an Allen wrench. We'll talk about that. And it'll have this little gizmo, and this is it's focused. There we go. It's what we tighten these brackets with. And so there was the one that was a little loose, so I'm just going to tighten it up. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just tightening it enough to keep it from rattling. So let's do that. That was being a little stubborn. That's okay. Just tighten it up. There we go. Just enough to keep it from rattling. We don't want the head too super tight. The head's pretty tight, so we're good. We're good with where that is. And head tension. I mean, you can go online and you can look up everything about how tight to adjust your head, you know, what note you want it to ring, how much deflection it should have. There's all kinds of things. Me, I've always just kind of tightened it up until it sounded good. What sounds good? That's up to you. You get to decide what sounds good for you. So if you like it really tight, that's good. If you like it, you know, a little looser, that's good. It's your banjo. So you get to decide what you like. So that's the tool that we use for that. Now, let me run and get my strap. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So what you want to do is you want to take your little wrench, bracket wrench, and you want to loosen this one up until you get it loose enough where it's off the banjo. I mean, literally, it's totally off. And what you can do is you take, now this type of strap, you don't necessarily have to take it. This strap, the way John made this, was it's, you know, you can take this little attachment off, but for me, it's just it's easier to undo this bracket. And so all I'm going to do is take that, slide the bracket through that slot, and then we're just going to put it back on the banjo. And we're just going to tighten it up. Doesn't have to be super tight. Just back kind of to where it was. And boom. There, we've done that. And I always put that strap piece on the bottom side. Now, some people like to attach it at the top, and that's totally okay if that's what you want to do. Sometimes they'll attach them up here. I prefer it down here. Again, it's up to you. And then the other one I will attach down here below the tail piece, somewhere about there. And if it's too short, then you can adjust what bracket you put it on. You can put it on, say I put it on this bracket instead of this one or whatever. You get to, you know, you decide where it's going to fit the best for you. That bracket's a little loose, so we'll tighten that up just a little. There we go. And then you decide where you want to put it. So I'm going to put it on this bracket and C. So we got to loosen this bracket up. So you get to see the whole process here. So just loosen it up. These are fresh from the factory. And it's always good to just kind of pull things apart here and make sure. Slide that bracket back. There we go. And then we're going to take our strap, make sure it's straight. All right. And we're going to put that, slide that bracket through the loop. And some straps will have little, you know, you can get some straps that have a little dog leash kind of little fittings on it. All right, I'm gonna lay this. I'm gonna lay this in my lap so I can see what I'm doing, and just slide that through there. There we go. And there we go. And then tighten your bracket back up. And now your strap. Now we get to try it and make sure it's right for us. I don't know. It's a brand new strap. I've never had this on a banjo yet. So we're going to see if this is right. So I'm just going to put this strap on and let's see where it is. And close enough. So there we go. If it had been if I needed it a little shorter, I could have moved this one down and we would put it right there. But it seems to be about right. And, you know, I might want to adjust it, but it seems okay. I think once I get the resonator on it, I think it'll be just fine. So I'm going to run and put resonator on this, and I'm not going to make you endure that. And I'll be right back. Hey, y'all. So one other thing I wanted to show you, and let me get into this just a little bit. There's this mystery of this truss rod cover, and that's what this little cover is. It's a truss rod cover, and if you look online, you know, you get all kind of advice and information on it. And one of the things I like to do when I get a new banjo in is make sure that that truss rod is adjusted properly. And the way I do that is, and you can use, I got big hands, so it's really easy for me. I'll hold this down right here at the very bottom of that last fret, so I'm fretting beyond it, and then up here at the 12th fret, and then I will see how much clearance that I've got between the fingerboard and that, really about the 7th fret. And there's, on this one, there's a little more than I like, which means that the neck is bowed this way. If it was touching when I fretted both ends, like 1st fret and down here at the 22nd, on past the 22nd, if it was touching, then that means the neck was bowed back. So since it's bowed this way, and that's a real, I'm really exaggerating here, since it's bowed that way, we want to adjust that. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take this truss rod cover off, and now you're going to get to see what we're going to do. And so don't lose these little tiny screws. You don't want to lose these because they're tiny. So if you drop one, they'll go skittering across the floor and you may never see it again. If you got a magnetic screwdriver, that would be even better. Me, I've got a cheap dollar store screwdriver here, but we'll try not to lose one. I can always run and get a magnet, I guess, put on the screwdriver. Okay, so the screws are off, and then we take the little truss rod cover off, and this one looks like it's got a little plastic film on it, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see if it does. Oh yeah, there's a little plastic film on this. You want to take that off anyway. It'll look nicer without it. So we take that little plastic film off. Now it's shiny. That's good. Lay that over there. All right. So just lay that to the side. And now we're going to take that Allen wrench that we got with our kit, and there's in that hole there. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. I can't see what I'm doing here. But in that hole, down in there, there's a place where you can slide that Allen wrench, and we're just going to tighten it up, okay? So just like everything else is, you know, you want to, you know, lefty loosey, righty tighty, and this it's pretty loose. So I'm gonna give it. Now, what I recommend to you is you make it a 1/4 of a turn, and then you check your adjustment to see how high that string is at the 7th fret, and it's still a little high to me. So we're gonna go a little more. Don't go more than a 1/4 of a turn at a time. That's just good advice. Best advice I can give you at the moment. And so it's still a little high. And you say to me, Jim, well, how much clearance should I have? That was another 1/4 turn at the 7th fret there. And that's a good question. I usually say about the thickness of a business card, or maybe a little more. No more than 25 thousandths really, but you know, somewhere between a business card and 25 thousandths, however much that would be. Your guess is as good as mine. I do so much of this by feel. I don't do a lot by just, I don't have a lot of numbers written down, and I usually check a couple of strings. I'm gonna go a little more because this was really loose. And keep in mind, you know, these imported instruments are coming from, you know, another country, and they may be, you know, they're coming from a different environment, humidity wise, and so it's nice to check and make sure everything is where it ought to be. And now we're getting into the spectrum of where I like it. So I'm not going to do here. Hey, there I am. I'm not going to do any more than that. That's as far as I'm going to take that today. And now we're going to put that little truss rod cover back on, and I'll be right back. I won't make you endure that. So, truss rod cover is back on the Recording King RK20, RKR20. And it's going to play a little better. go. Now, I told you I wanted to show you how to string up this Waverly style tailpiece. And so that I'm gonna do that next. So go run, grab a pack of strings and some wire cutters, and I'll show you how to string that up. Be right back. Don't go away. Well, I'm back. I get asked all the time, Jim, what strings? And it's like, man, I don't know. I usually recommend banjo strings. And I know that's not even funny, but today I am putting on a set of the Dario EJ57s. Why? Because a friend of mine gave me a box of the Dario EJ57s, and that's what we're using. It's they're nickel-plated steel, and they call them a custom medium. They're banjo strings. Pick something, try them. If you don't like them, make a note. Hey, I like these, and remember, I had a friend of mine. He was, and he may still do it. Guitar player, and pretty much in his case, he's got a little notebook, we call them a butt book, just a little flip book. And just about every pack of strings he's bought since the 1970s, he's kept a list and little notes on whether he liked them or not. And so, I mean, if you like something, remember what they are. And so we're going to use these, and we're going to put them on this banjo. So I'm going to go ahead and open these. The easy opening tab, this is my plight, folks. It's never such a thing. And these come in a little package, which is kind of nice, and that way they don't go rusty on you before you use them, and so you can buy a couple sets. There's also on the Dario strings, they'll be color coded. There'll be little tabs on these to let you know what string they are. Some come in a package that say, you know, 4th string, 3rd string, 1st string, whatever. But these will have a color on them, and you just match them up to that. I restring a banjo one string at a time. One at a time. That way my bridge doesn't get out of place. The other thing I want to show y'all, like on these imported banjos, and you may not can see it real good, but there's this little black piece of vinyl tubing on that string. We're going to ditch that. That's going away. We'll never see that again. And so I just do one string at a time. I start with a 5th and go across. There's no magic to it, no rhyme, no reason other than just, hey, it's in order and I can remember what the heck I've done. And see, and hang on, I'll show you that little, so you can there, you can see that little black little vinyl thing. We don't need that. They put it on there to kind of protect this binding, and if you want to fuss with that, you can. I don't. And now we got to figure out how to get these things off of here, and there we go. And now it's off. So I just wrap these up, stick them in. You can put them in your recycling, or you know, if you recycle metals, or you can give them to your neighbor that likes to make bracelets and jewelry, whatever. On the way, whatever makes you happy. Let's tear into these right here and see what we got. And so these will come and they'll look like that. There's little things on them. And now we need to know what color we need for the 5th string. And it tells me that the 5th string is red. So there's my red 5th string. All right. Lay those to the side. Y'all know I have cats. They'll probably be over here helping me with these strings first chance they get. I just tear off that little 5th, that little tab off 5th string, and let me tilt this down here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So what I do is I put it around, we're gonna go around that little nub right there, and then we're gonna go under the slot. You see how the string goes over the top of the tailpiece there, and that's what you're after. And so we do that, and then now what I like to do is I like to get the hole of that peg perpendicular to the neck. Now I'll run my string through there, make sure it goes. What have I done? There we go. Hole through there perpendicular to the neck, and I'm going to pull it fairly tight. I'm not going to pull it completely snug. Now, I'm going to go back around the top of the post, and I'm going to go under the string, just the one there. All right, so I'm going under the string, and now I'm going to take this, and we're going to pull it back around this direction, and I'll show you this a couple more times, and that way now we've got our 5th string, slide it into that pip, and then when we tighten this up, we don't have to twist and twist and twist. We can just make sure you're in your bridge slot. And now we have that on there the way it ought to be, and that's good. So let's go ahead and trim that off. Get that out of my way. Trim it. You want to trim it in such a way as you're not going to stab yourself with that string. Their strings are a little sharp. They're small and they're pointy. And just wrap that up. And now let's do our 4th string. So our 4th string in this pack is black. It's the easiest one to tell because it's the only wound one. So we lay that to the side. We'll take the 4th string off. Same process. We're just going to remove it. And get it off here. Make a lot of racket in the process. And now it's off. And then we'll put it on there the right way. We'll put it on there the way I like it. Let's say it that way. And then same deal. Just take the little tab off. They just tear right off. You're going to hook it over that little nib right there. You're going to go under through that loop right there. Pull it kind of tight. And now make sure that that stays on. But when we get up here to the headstock, remember I like to turn that hole perpendicular to the neck. Run the string through. Here, I'm gonna adjust my camera here. So run that string through. Hopefully that'll be in focus. And we didn't take all the tension out of it. It's still fairly loose. We're gonna run backwards around and then under. And then pull it up. And then that direction, and that'll lock the string in place. And then we'll just tune it up. All right, so now we've done that one. I'll go ahead and do a couple more, and then I'll show you the last one. We'll come back to it. So I'll be right back after I clip this string. Y'all don't go away. We're going to do this last string. Slide it off of there. Just wanted to show you this one because it goes from the opposite direction. And it's just the same principle as the other ones. This one was silver, there it is. And sometimes I like to take and make a little kink, just a little bend in that. See if you can see that. See, I've kind of bent it just a little. And it helps it stay on that pin just a little bit. And just slide that on there. Keep the tension on it. I usually pull it a little bit tight and keep my arm on it. That way it stays in place as I thread it through the hole up here. Make sure you don't want it to come loose and then you've wrapped your string up and you don't have it connected to the pin. I've done that. All right, we're good. We're connected to the pin. We go around the top, under. Make sure you're just under the one string and then pull it back up, and then we can tighten that up. Make sure your string is in the proper nut slot, and then we tighten it up. Now, obviously, I'm out of tune. So we're gonna adjust our tuning. So let's So now, but now we're all strung up the way it ought to be, or the way I like it to be. It seems to work better. It gives you a little more adjustment with your tailpiece too, if you wanted to adjust the height of the tailpiece. I think it's probably fine where it is. It's not too high, it's not too low. It's just kind of in a Goldilocks zone. So, hey, there you are. All right, and let's get my tuner here and let's tune up. So. Now on new strings, once I tune them up, I like to grab them at the 12th fret and pull on them a little bit. Just a little bit, not a lot. You're not going to break them. And then tune up. And you'll probably have to go through that a time or two, because they're new and they'll stretch a little bit. And now we're all tuned up and ready to pick. Let me grab my picks here, get them out of the pile of used strings. And let's see what this sounds like. Now we've got everything all adjusted. The only other thing that you might want to do is you might decide you want to tighten the head a little bit, and that's cool if you want to do that. I think this one's probably fine. All right, so we are good. Not too bad. Brand new banjo from Recording King, RKR20. This is definitely a good choice for you if you're deciding on a banjo. It's like, dang, what should I buy? These are great. Check them out online. You can go to recordingking.com and look. But it's a nice looking banjo. It sounds good. Easy to work on, easy to set up. And so there you go. Recording King. And let me see. Make sure my bridge is where it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, we're all good. We're all good. So good talking to you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.